gentlemen, welcome back to another Board Crazy review. I am D. I am joined, as ever, by...
I'm Graham.
And I am Will. Dang it.
Yeah.
I nailed it.
He is Will.
Is that the first time that's ever happened?
One of the first times.
I was trying to come up with a riddle on the spot, and I just...
So...
Where there's a blank, there's a way. Figure it out.
Today we're reviewing the Exit the Game, Dead Man on the Orient Express. Typically at this point of our review, we would run my introduction to the game from our gameplay video. I did not do an introduction to this game, given its nature. Okay, so I just want to mention a couple things before we get started with the actual review. This game, like all of the Exit games, is designed by Inka and Markus brand. It is published by KOSMOS, and it is basically a tabletop version of an escape room where the players are all trying to solve puzzles as quickly as possible to reach some ultimate conclusion. We're going to avoid talking about general spoilers, given the nature of these games being they're one-time only plays, so we're not going to give away like the solutions or the murderer or anything like that here. But you can, if you would like, check out our gameplay video and spoil all that stuff for yourself. But we're going to
mustard.
Yep.
In the kitchen with what are
the train. He used
the train.
The train.
He used the whole train in the kitchen.
Yeah, so you can check that out our gameplay video if you want to see that, but keep in mind it will spoil you. This review, however, will not contain any spoilers as much as we are possibly able
for
to
the game.
Prevent them. I think it's time to get started then. What do you say, guys?
I think you talk too much.
No, well,
He's filibustering.
He's filibustering, Graham.
So, gentlemen, this is officially now the second Exit game that we have played on this channel.
Yep.
After Sunken Treasure, which is right over there in our KOSMOS collection. I would say, without much hesitation, that I preferred this one to the Sunken Treasure overall. I feel like thematically it's a bit more interesting. Obviously it's all fictional, but I think the act of, working towards solving a murder and, apprehending the correct criminal at the end is more engaging than just going after some, fake treasure that's all in your mind or anything like that. I think this, obviously not actually solving a murder here, but the goal feels, more interesting.
What I do like about this game is I thought the puzzles were generally way more intriguing than the one from the Sunken Treasure. The Sunken Treasure one felt and it was an easier game, so they're going to naturally be a little bit easier to solve. But this one, I felt like
you had to work for it a lot.
Yeah. They made you work for it, and they made you use a lot more, I think, logic and reasoning.
Yeah, I felt like we were guessing less this time around. We generally were correct when we went towards our answer. I felt like.
Yeah, before we get more into the specific of the puzzles, I wanted to sort of comment on Dee's point. I do agree with both of you that this game is better than Sunken Treasure for a multitude of reasons. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you, D, that the added narrative that you're trying to solve a murder on a train makes it so that there's more than just puzzles in this game and riddles. Mm-hmm. You're solving the puzzles and the riddles to get basically to the next clue in the murder. You're trying to find like a suitcase. What's in the suitcase? You're trying to find, you're trying to figure out who played in that poker game and who wasn't there. Yeah. Who's a drinker, who smokes cigars. So I think not only does that make the puzzles feel more meaningful, because each time you solve one, you're getting another clue that helps fill in this broader picture. Yeah. But it also means that the game, I think this game would appeal to a broader range of players.
Well, it has to be said, obviously, that this is drawing pretty heavily from a well-known story already, whereas Sunken Treasure is a bit more generic in that respect, just like a treasure hunt. This is obviously based on Murder on the Orient Express, the Agatha Christie novel.
With Poirot.
People can be more, but I'm
not saying it would just appeal to people who are familiar with the what it's adapting.
It's just general appeal.
But I'm saying, if someone wasn't really all that interested or good at the puzzles and riddles, they could still take the time to look at the clues and try to parcel out, and figure out who's the murderer. I think this game allows a group of players that each kind of take on a different role and responsibility, like we sort of did in the video, and I think that's kind of a strength of this one as compared to the
that's something
Treasure,
I noticed.
More just about let's solve the next riddle, get to the next one, and then it's over.
Yeah,
this one is more.
I kind of agree with your point there. This is a game for 1 to 4 players.
Yeah,
you mentioned you can do it with any amount, but I thought it really shined with the 3 of us. Because
we're special.
Well, because there are very much two different things going on at all times. There's the immediate puzzle, and there's the overarching story that you have to sort of figure out. And I think it really worked well in this game. How that like the midway point, we kind of got it where I left you two to solving the puzzles for the most part, while I sort of looked at a lot of the evidence and sort of narrowed down the suspects. And in the end, it worked out really well for us. I think we solved it in a reasonable time, got the right person, and got a pretty good score.
And it seemed like the actual solving of the riddles and puzzles meshed very well with the trying to figure out evidence and clearing people's and stuff like that. Because you wouldn't have been able to do it without some of the solutions to the riddles.
And it's one of these.
So it's
it's one of these things where it's different from an escape room, where in this game if you're working all trying to solve the same puzzle at the same time, you're gonna have to constantly be trading stuff back and forth, and it's gonna slow down the process just by virtue of people not being able to focus on it constantly, otherwise you'd have people not doing anything. So in this game, where both of you could easily work on the same puzzle at the same time, whereas I was sort of off on my own here, it's a different angle for me. So
I thought it was kind of amusing because you're off in your own little corner trying to figure out who the murderer is, and you keep going, hold on, and then Graham and I are over here like folding paper, not even like hearing you. It's just, I don't know, it's funny how the work split sort of broke up that way. But again, I think that just shows, you're right, like they almost went a little outside the box with this. It almost feels less like an escape room and more like a mystery adventure where you're solving riddles. It doesn't feel like you're trying to, like the train is going to get to its station and you're going to be able to leave it with, freely. It's not like in the Sunken Treasure, it was like you either get the treasure and get out or you drown. Like this one is like, so it is almost like an outside-the-box approach towards the escape room format.
Well, I think that makes for a nice transition, because I think it's a good thing, at least, that this game did not literally go outside the box, because that was easily my least favorite puzzle of the Sunken Treasure game, where you actually literally needed to use the box.
I thought that was clever.
But I will say that I don't know if it's a coincidence, if it's just how we process puzzles, or if it's just the game, but this is the second straight time where my least favorite the only puzzle I really didn't like was the one that involved some sort of prop. Yes, exactly. This time around, it was the weird. It was up on top. We just kind of buried it. Yeah, these things, the weird tabletop and jewel. We're not going to say how they actually come into play, but just it's awkward.
Well, yeah, because you can read the riddle and get. There's like 2 or 3 different ways you could read it and have it.
You said it in the video. It's just not intuitive.
Yeah,
a lot of the riddles, it's like it feels like the solution's intuitive. You still have to use like creative thinking and like math and other processes to get to the answer. These it just feels like the game is sort of cheating you a bit because the clues aren't necessarily helpful enough. You have to like figure out how to use the prop. But at the end of the day, it's 2 slivers of like cardboardish paper.
Every other like puzzle and piece of art in this exit game, it was very intuitive. I thought the iconography was very good. You knew when you had to draw something or cut something or anything like that. You could really, they gave you all you need. And with these, it just always feels like they're just lacking. Like, I don't know if it's maybe the art isn't quite clear enough, or just the component quality is too flimsy, or it doesn't, that you're never sure you're doing it right. But, and I get why they do it, because like, it's just true to an actual escape room too, where there's physical props that you're usually interacting with. It's not just, mind puzzles. So I get what they do. It just
didn't work well.
It cost us like 2 stars.
I sort of see it. I sort of see these as like a challenge. The physical props is like a challenge that we'll need to overcome eventually. Like as we keep playing more.
Maybe it's just us. Maybe people have no problem with these, and we're just not wired that way. But I don't think it's.
That's kind of. I think that's possible, though. I think we need to acknowledge the possibility that in playtesting, most people were able to figure it out, and only
maybe we overthought it a bit.
Or maybe not idiots. We're very good at this, but we might have overthought it, or likely we overthought it. But let's talk about some of the good puzzles. Like I think I liked the folding ones in this one.
The folding one was all right.
The folding one was fun. My personal favorite was the last one where you had to, and I won't go into what it was, but having to use
the decoder.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to show the one side of it because could give something away. But it felt like it took us a bit to get what are we gonna do with this, but we never got like overly frustrated with it. And when once it was like, it just was very clever the way that they gave you the riddle.
Yeah, I think we used like one clue for that one, but yeah, it was pretty good. I actually think both puzzles that involved the decoder were good, because
yeah.
It was like you're just used to using the decoder as a decoder, and you can even see from the art on the back that maybe there's a little bit more to it in this one.
One thing I really liked that didn't have to do with either the riddles or, I guess, much of the substance of the game was the rooms. I thought the rooms were really cool to just kind of look at and look at all the little details and stuff. There's oftentimes more going on than you.
Yeah, like I said, outside of those like prop components, I think otherwise the art is really there's no ambiguity with it. You can always know for sure if you just look close enough that you're understanding everything correctly.
And I just think the art is also just really attractive too.
Yeah, they feel like actual
the spirit of the story.
Feels like a
old
actual
train.
Old train room. Yeah, it's
Orient Express.
Yep.
Yeah,
the way you have the door there, you open it. Right?
Yeah, they're two-sided.
Two-sided with the door.
Pretty clever. I will say one thing about the puzzles is that I would love to play one of these games where it was a bit more grounded. Which is to say that all of the puzzles in this game are absolutely absurd if you stop and think about them for even the slightest moment. Like, how would this have been set up? Yeah. Why are there weird colors on the clocks and why?
I definitely had that thought during the gameplay.
It's completely cartoonish. And I would love it if I don't know, maybe there is one. If there is one you've played, to let us know. That's a bit more grounded in reality, where you almost feel like you're solving an actual
crime or mystery,
or any mystery of any kind.
Whatever,
I understand what you're saying.
It's probably much easier to do it this way.
Yeah.
I understand it, but it is what it is.
At the same time, though, I find that endearing that these are so... Like, I thought about the same thing. I tried to think about this logically, and how would all this stuff end up here?
What is Puso doing? Stop making these puzzles.
Tell us.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up and give this game our scores?
No.
I covered everything.
Okay, yeah. Like as we said, this is my favorite of the two we've played so far. It makes me want to play further Exit games. I would gladly play another one of these or more. And I don't know. If you're a fan of murder mysteries and this is a sort of game that might look interesting to you, and if you're willing to invest in a game you can only play once, I would say this is definitely a good purchase. I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5.
I really don't have much different to say than what Dee just said.
I nailed it.
So say something crazy. Something out of left field.
Oh, man. I'll give it 1 thumb up.
1 thumb up. Okay, good.
Cool.
That was way out of left field.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Will?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I felt that the puzzles were almost uniformly gratifying to complete in this one, with the exception of maybe a few that were a little inconsistent. I think fans of the movie or the book adaptation would really get a kick out of this game. I personally enjoyed it more than the latest movie version of it, the one with Kenneth Branagh.
It's not the same thing, Will.
I'm just saying. I'm just kind of like, we played. They were roughly around 2 hours each, and I enjoyed one experience more than the other. I think that's worthwhile to say. My point is that I like this one, and I think judging it just strictly as an escape room game, I'm not really going to kind of gauge it compared to like a board game. It's so different, but as an escape room game, I'm going to give it an A-.
Ooh.
I think it was really good. And I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy these kind of games.
So thank you for watching this review of Exit the Game, Dead Man on the Orient Express. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We always love to see those things happen. You can also check out our social media links. Our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all linked to in the description below. So you can click on those, see what's up with that, and then we're gonna have links down there for the gameplay. This gameplay, we're gonna have links to the other Exit game.
I'll probably put Sunken Treasure in there.
Maybe that'll be in there too if you want to spoil all these games for yourself. And also come back this Friday where we're going to be going to a sequel. I think it's fair to say of a game we recently quite enjoyed. So that should be fun. So we hope you see us then. Hope to see you then.
He's losing it, Graham. Let's cut him off. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Who knows? Maybe we'll go to Unlock next. I haven't considered that. But there's another series of... I pointed at Exit. But what I meant to say is there's another series of escape room games called the Unlock games. And I've heard they're also pretty interesting.
Maybe
we'll go to those next. Not right away, though. It's going to be a little break between Exit room games.
But until then, thank you for watching, everybody.
Escape room games, I mean.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodles.
Thank you.